guys, I have so much to talk about, but I decided to go with this tiny little reminder. Um, gratitude. Gratitude is so important, and I wanted to talk about how you can, don't mind the finger cam. We just wanted to talk about how you could possibly grow the gratitude within your soul for the things around you and why you should do that in the first place. So, gratitude is really important because oh my god, it just, you know what, aside from like the possible material benefit of getting more things in your life because you're grateful for it, it just makes everything feel so much more impactful. Like once I like realize how grateful I am for things, like I feel more present at the moment and I feel like I'm more like the absolute indulgence of the moment almost overwhelms me at that point. Just from the joy and the happiness that I feel when I think of it. It makes me so like overwhelmingly happy. For instance, like today I was reading this book called Arabian Time Machine. And it was just well, I didn't read the entire book because some of the accounts bothered me, but I was reading the accounts by the woman from like ancient. No, it's not even ancient. What am I saying? It's literally 1970s like Gulf country like anecdotes of life and things like that. And in one of the accounts, this woman talks about how because they were nomadic, they didn't live anywhere coastal or settled. They didn't have vegetables. Like vegetables just weren't a thing in their diet. Like she said that all they ate was like I think they ate chickens, like they raised chickens, and she was part of like a very wealthy family, very wealthy like tribe-esque thing. So they had chickens, and she was really happy that they had onions. That's all she named because they were like really wealthy and they afforded onions. And they could afford onions. She ate. They made yogurt, camel milk, and just chicken. I think beef as well, or like camel meat, something like that. And that's all they lived off of. Okay, they lived off of like she's from a wealthy family too, so like the average person, what was he living off of, bro? He was living off of water, camel milk, camel yogurt, camel meat. Bro, they literally did not have vegetables in their diet. Like if you don't have anything to be grateful about today, be grateful you have vegetables. Cause I'm not even kidding. Like I know it sounds humorous, like it might sound humorous to you, person who has access to vegetables now, but like back then that was like a big deal and I felt it because for the past few days like I haven't had the time to really sit down and eat a proper salad. Like I've just been eating like sandwiches and things I get from like just anywhere because like college has been really hectic and I just like eat anything and it's like dude. And then today I ate like some lettuce, had some lettuce and like just lettuce, literally just washed some lettuce and ate it. And I was like, oh my god, I feel so refreshed. I feel so much lighter. Like, and to think that some people did not have access to this. It's mind boggling. Like, do you know how lucky you are right now? You know, you might not think that you have enough, but the fact that you hopefully can go to the store and at least afford an onion. That is like so huge. Not even comparing it to the past, but some people right now are living in war. Like they literally cannot afford these things. These are basic things as well. We're not even talking about like the chocolate you can buy. You know, it's just so it's the tiniest thing. And when I was eating that lettuce, just plain lettuce, I was like, oh my god, I'm eating lettuce. Some people don't have access to lettuce now and in the past, and it's just like it was so mind-boggling to me. I was so happy and I felt every single crunch of that lettuce with so much gratitude in my soul because I had lettuce. Oh my god. So it just made everything better. And right now, like, I'm drinking like this green tea. People don't have green tea. You know, like, not everybody has green tea. I have a whole box of it. I could afford a box of green tea. Like, do you know how insane this is? Like, this is literally like, this is like the height of luxury. Honestly, I can't lie. Like, this is genuinely the height of luxury. Like, owning green tea. The fact that I have access to a light that's like this color instead of like overbearing like ceiling light. Like, this is like, that's insane. Like, this is genuinely insane. It just makes your whole existence feel so much better, and you feel so much more in the present. And it actually makes me more generous to people. It makes me like more patient and more, just invites more generosity into my heart that I want to share this thing with everybody. So one time I was in college, I sat around in the grass and I found that there's a lot of snail shells. And I was like so in awe of these snail shells. And I was so happy that I found them. And so lucky, I just went around sharing snail shells. Which, don't do that, number one. Some people were like weirded out, but some people were like really happy that I gave them snail shells. So like, don't do that. But also like, I'm just illustrating to you like when you have such an abundance because the ground was full of snail shells and nobody noticed them. When you have access to that bounty, that abundance that God gave you, it's like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. So many snail shells, and you just want to share it with people. That's how like counting the blessings you have around you just elicits in your heart this need to share it, you know? So the way you could think about this is just meditation. And I don't mean meditation as like closing your eyes and like sitting in silence. That could work too, include that. But I mean just sitting and looking around you in complete silence. Okay? Preferably do it in a natural place because the more you see your blessing outside in nature and things that can't be taken away from you, things that are like forever there, you know, because your living situation can change, but nature, for the most part, will always be there. The landscape will always be there. That's something that can't be taken away from you and is not related to materials, you know? That's why I don't think people should identify cars so much. They should look into identifying plants and things because learning about the blessings that you are given and that can't be taken away from you just it provides you with a more stable form of happiness. If you want to identify cars and like look at, you know, there's a Mercedes, that's a BMW. Okay, you can do that, but like take it down a notch and focus on the blessings that you have access to, that you will forever have access to, no matter what your material situation is. So just look around you, observe. Then also the silent meditation, because the silent meditation can open up blessings that you weren't aware of in you as a person if you focus that reflection on you and things that have been that people did for you in the past. Like if somebody helped you pass a test, you know, somebody helped teach you something, that is a blessing. Some people don't have access to people that can teach them anything that's worthwhile, that's productive, you know? Like think about your teachers. The teachers, if you can remember that far, the teachers that taught you the alphabet, the teacher that taught you like how to read, like that's, oh my God, like that's the highest form of blessing that somebody can do to someone, you know, teaching someone the ability to read, you know, and then because that is like a big domino effect to like everything you can absorb and observe in the world through reading it. You gain more knowledge through the ability to read, and it's like, isn't that such a huge blessing? You know, and this goes to my next point. While you are in this internal meditative state, where you reflect upon your own blessings as a person, you know, and not physically, but like internally, and thinking about the skills that you have that you got because you studied, because you worked hard on yourself, you know? And it could be something that isn't traditionally thought of as impressive, you know, like cooking very well. People don't think that's like super impressive, but that's impressive. Like you can cook well. That's great. And there's like things like oh my god, cleaning dishes. You know what? There's some people that don't know how to clean dishes. I'm being serious. Some people don't know how to clean dishes. And if they do clean it, they don't know how to properly clean a dish. Like there's some dishes that just end up with like yucky like streaks of like water, dried water and stuff, and they don't know how to hygienically like sterilize a plate. Like that's a big deal if you know how to clean a dish. Like think about the tiniest things in your life that you know how to do. And beyond your skills, your own personal like innate characteristics. And what I mean by that is reflect upon yourself and think, gosh, I am a kind person. That's such a blessing to naturally have a kind heart. There's some people like me, for instance, I have to sometimes practice compassion. Have to actively put in my mind, I will be compassionate to this person. And some people just naturally have that compassion within them. That's just a natural virtue they have. And it's like, what? That is such a blessing. Like you walk around and you have this like innate goodness in you, and that's like so nice. And another thing is an appreciation of how far you've come, how far, like, how well you've developed those skills, those characteristics, those traits. Like, for me, for example, like, about the compassion that I try to practice. So if you just sit down and think about that, and sometimes you can even recount an exact instance where in your head you had the option to not practice compassion, but you said no. You had self control and you said no. That's a blessing. Just thinking about that, about your innate power, the power that you had to just control yourself and to like continue to choose to be better. Like, just thinking about that to me right now, I like you can see my face. I can't help but smile when I think about those things, like those events where I did do better. Like it raises, I would say, like vibration really because I'm not so sure about this frequency stuff, but I do think it's true, like to an extent that it does raise, I mean, your mood. Let's just say your mood. It raises your mood, it raises your energy, and it just makes you real happy, you know. And when you're in this happy, optimistic, relaxed state, you can like do things. Pause. Okay, I don't know why I paused. I don't have anything to add. Just be happy. Be happy. Be compassionate to yourself. And yeah, just be happy.